Hi everyone, and welcome to our breakout session. My name is Georgia Smith, and I am the Program Manager for Public Sector Digital Innovation in Australia, New Zealand, and Oceania. My team and I help our public sector customers to define new products, services, experiences, and strategies using Amazon's innovation mechanisms. My background is over 10 years' experience successfully implementing and transforming complex, technical, and problematic portfolios of work across public and private sector. In today's session, we will be telling you about how we conducted a working backwards engagement with Illawarra Retirement Trust, IRT, to develop a customer experience for the future of aged care, leveraging emerging technologies. Now I will hand over to Ross to introduce himself and tell you about IRT.
Thanks, Georgia. Hi, I'm Ross Gallagher, the Executive General Manager for Home Care and Retirement Living at Illawarra Retirement Trust. I joined IRT in 2019 and am responsible for IRT's retirement villages and home care operations. My background is not in aged care, but in innovation and scale-ups. I was previously the CEO of an IT services business, which developed a clinical and data analytics platform in the community pharmacy space, and a medicine information secure data warehouse assisting pharmaceutical companies meet their legislative obligations. Coming from an innovation and technology background, and with my elderly mother currently receiving home care, I joined IRT with a view to developing new and innovative home care solutions that will ultimately drive a more customer-empowered model of care, based on anticipated funding model changes and customer preferences. IRT has been helping older Australians for 50 years as one of Australia's larger, community-owned, not-for-profit aged care providers. We're proud to have more than 40 communities and home care service hubs in New South Wales, the ACT and Queensland. At IRT, we invest significantly, but not frivolously, in innovation and see ourselves as a market leader, having won several awards in this space, with examples such as the use of data lakes, including Snowflake and Kafka, an autonomous vehicle trial, AI to help predict critical incidents in advance of them occurring, Alexa in our latest retirement villages, etc. When it comes to innovation, we typically adopt the Jim Collins philosophy of firing bullets before we fire cannonballs, as highlighted by this project. The Royal Commission into Aged Care provided us with compelling data to reinforce the need for significant transformation of the sector. It's probably not a surprise to most that people would prefer to stay at home for as long as possible. As such, we envisage that into the future, individuals that require aged care or high care will have the choice to have this delivered at home, or if not possible, in a facility with similar funding models to apply. Customers will have a choice of services and providers, which aligns with the current quality reporting standards where there is a great emphasis on dignity, choice, quality and transparency. With these anticipated home care funding model changes, providers will need to innovate to ensure value for money for our customers. Customers will be empowered to self-manage and choose multiple providers based on cost, service expertise and quality. We envisage a star rating to be implemented in due course. This will place significant and different pressure on providers compared to present. Workforce challenges within the industry are also driving the need for the use of assistive technology. The government is now supporting a partners in care approach, which basically means that the next of kin, NOC, and family contribute to their loved one's care. To do all the government is considering will no doubt cost billions. So we would anticipate a copay model or a levy, like Medicare, will be leveraged at some stage. It should be noted that most of the factors that I have mentioned have also been exacerbated by the advent of COVID-19. Data provided by Leading Aged Care Services Australia, LASER, illustrates the effect of this on industry demand. In September 2021, there were almost 52,000 people seeking a home care package at their approved level, who have not yet been offered one. And for context, over 98% of these people were already approved for support by the Commonwealth Home Support Program. LASER also reported a 4.3% incremental increase in individuals assessing a home care package since June 30, earlier in the year, and a monumental 25.3% increase since 1 year prior. Now that we understood the environment, we took laser focus to understanding our customer. This ensures we don't constrain our thinking to any particular technical solution up front. The IRT team have benefited greatly from partnering with AWS with a customer-first approach. And in fact, we have agreed internally that it's pertinent to all our strategic initiatives for the post-Royal Commission operating environment. When thinking about the customer, we quickly realised we actually needed to consider two key customer personas. Our initial focus was on Ethel, a fiercely independent 78-year-old grandmother who has had an increasing number of health issues. This started with a fall, resulting in a broken hip, cancer in her early 70s, and continued heart problems. Her efforts to continue to live independently are understandably worrying to her daughter Jan. Jan is a 52-year-old mother who is time poor, working full-time with her own children, and wanting to ensure her mother Ethel is getting all the help she needs. Jan was constantly worried about her mother, and this was taking a toll on her day-to-day. She felt conflicted about checking in on her regularly. She did not want to make her mother feel like a burden, but needed reassurances that her mother was okay. Meanwhile, Ethel felt like she was losing her independence. These difficult emotions were preventing Jan and Ethel from connecting like they used to, as mother and daughter. Their conversations had become all about Ethel's day-to-day needs, like a next doctor or physio appointment, whether and what she had eaten that day, if she was running short on items such as Panadol. Something had to change.
Thanks, Ross. Let me share with you how AWS helped IRT solve for these challenges and help their customers. As part of the digital innovation team at AWS, my team and I help our customers use the working backwards process, modelled here, to define a new product, service, experience, or strategy, and then rapidly bring that solution to life and to market. The working backwards process is a design thinking framework used at Amazon and has resulted in Amazon products our customers know and love, such as Echo and Alexa. It starts with identifying an end customer and creating a detailed, holistic persona that allows us to best understand their specific problem from that person's perspective. This ensures a very clear understanding of the problem that we have the opportunity to solve and address our persona's needs most effectively. We then help our customer to develop a future dated press release, which is the key to defining the new solution that meets the customer's most pressing need. In the middle of 2021, multiple aged care organisations approached the digital innovation team. They were looking for better ways to scale their services, manage data, and moreover, put their customers' experience at the centre of everything they do. We wanted to see what AWS could do for the aged care customer experience, and we were excited to work with IRT. I'm going to show you how we used the working backwards process to develop two key end customer personas, which enabled us to identify how emerging technology fused with modern medicine improves the patient and loved one experience. We'll dive into topics such as anomaly detection with biotelemetry from wearables, the potential for autonomous systems to rapidly deliver medical supplies, and voice interfaces with Amazon Alexa to simplify interactions with carers and medical services. We wanted to solve an immediate and common problem in the industry and deliver an underpinning technical architecture to solve for an all-encompassing industry solution. This brings us to the problem statement we developed for this project. How might we provide a seamless, simple, overall community experience for an ageing population that wishes to remain independent for longer? The how might we statement determines the prevailing customer problem that we have the opportunity to address. It is our North Star which ensures that we stay on track in solving the problem at hand for our specifically defined customer, or in this case, customers. It is our aspirational goal that frames the engagement before we start solutioning. Next, we develop the today statement. This ties together the customer persona, the problem they are facing, and the circumstances in which they find themselves facing this problem. Today, busy, tech-savvy children of aging parents have to learn, understand, and rely on multiple complex systems when they want to bring in a community to provide wellbeing support to their aging parent at home. Then we start identifying essential and important benefits that our customer needs. We describe how the solution looks and feels to our customer persona. This involves defining the benefits of our proposed product rather than particular features. By doing this, we ensure we remain technology agnostic and retain a laser focus on what Jan and Ethel need, as opposed to our own ideas of what and how technology can be used. Some of the critical items we identified with IRT were a one-stop shop, seamless, and unintrusive. Moreover, we determined that Jan needs a way to stay connected to Ethel to ensure she is okay, removing tensions from their interactions. We then developed a future-dated press release which imagines how our product has improved Jan and Ethel's lives. With the press release, we leap into the future and imagine how we want our customer to feel and what we want them to say when they experience the product, feature, or service we want to build. We then worked with our solutions architect to develop a technical solution which provides the experience look and feel described in the press release. Now, I'm going to walk you through OK today, the customer experience we built with IRT. But before I do, I want you to imagine a world where Ethel can focus on enjoying her later years, Jan can spend less time worrying about her mother, and together they can connect like families should be able to without day-to-day worries getting in the way. The OK Today platform leverages smart home technology and wearables to allow aging loved ones to enjoy living independently by providing confidence to their carers via a full picture of their health and well-being. The platform has a number of components to achieve this, some of which you can see on the screen at the moment. On the right-hand side, we can see the face of a smartwatch that is worn by Ethel. The smartwatch itself has access to a number of sensors, such as blood oxygen, heart rate, and steps taken. And we're sending this data into the cloud, where it's continually analysed for anomalies. This smartwatch runs Wear OS, a popular Android-based platform. For this demo, we've created a simple client that pulls and sends physiological data, such as heart rate, to AWS IoT Core, which then passes the data to Kinesis Analytics to assess for anomalies, before storing the data long-term to potentially be made accessible to Ethel's healthcare professionals. What's interesting about the Wear OS platform is the fact that we're able to use the AWS Amplify framework to simplify the development effort required to integrate AWS components. On the left side of the screen, we have a mobile application for our carer that has been developed in React Native to run in both Android and iOS. Once again, we're able to use AWS Amplify framework to simplify the developer experience when interacting with the cloud components used for this demo. So we've authenticated as our carer Jan, who then has access to a number of options. She may want to contact Ethel at home on her Echo Show device using the Alexa communication capabilities. This could be dropping her a message, making a call, or even using the drop-in feature to connect directly to her using video. She has the option of looking at Ethel's health and home data as well. For health, maybe she wants to check in on her to make sure her physiological data looks okay. Alternatively, maybe she wants to see if Ethel is using her fridge or kettle that are connected using smart sensors. Or maybe she wants to take a look at her Ring doorbell video feed to see who's at the door. Finally, maybe she needs to book services or purchase products to be delivered to Ethel. For that, there's a marketplace for third-party vendors to sell their products and services and arrange delivery to Ethel. This alleviates Jan of having to buy and deliver items herself. So for Jan, it's great to have access to all this information, but it's not realistic to be checking on it all day. What we want is a more automated way of monitoring Ethel's health and to be notified in the event that something doesn't look right. Let's simulate an irregular heart rate and see what happens. You'll notice that the heart rate is changing on the screen every minute or so. We could collect and send data more frequently, but there is a big trade-off with battery life on wearables that we need to be conscious of. So we see a spike in the heart rate, and that's resulted in a push notification to our carer's mobile app. What's happened here is the data was sent from the watch to the cloud, where we've compared it with Ethel's historical data and determined an anomaly. We've reduced false positives by inspecting other variables, such as Ethel's physical activity that can be determined through her steps taken, distance moved, and her movement detected through her accelerometer and gyroscope. This could be further refined by using data from her home, such as if she's watching TV. Maybe she's watching the latest thriller, or maybe the cameras have detected her outside doing some gardening. If we take a look at the push notification, you can see that there are a few options to check in on her that are actually based on Ethel's location. We're using GPS on the smartwatch to geofence Ethel's property so we can determine if she is home or not. This makes it easier to determine the best way to contact Ethel and suggest it to Jan. If the location data indicates Ethel is at home, we can suggest that Jan drop in or message Ethel's Echo Show. If not, we can change those options to message or call Ethel's mobile. If we click on either of those Alexa options, we get taken directly to the Alexa communications capability for Ethel. We could then drop in and check that Ethel is okay. As you can see here, it connects directly, but Ethel needs to be near her device for this to work. One way to resolve this is to use Amazon's new Astro robot announced last year, which is able to navigate autonomously around the house, find the occupant, and follow them whilst on an Alexa call using a telescopic camera. Alternatively, we can just send Ethel a message and Alexa will read it out to her. Okay, so maybe we've detected Ethel is not feeling very well. We've checked in on her using Alexa and we've determined she needs some medication delivered. Traditionally, we might go to a physical store, purchase this, and bring this to her. But what if there was another way? Something we're looking at is a mobile accessible marketplace that allows third-party product and service providers to offer items to be delivered to Ethel's doorstep. If we navigate to the marketplace, we can, for example, purchase some paracetamol. In a perfect world, this product would be delivered to Ethel autonomously, as per the simulation in this demo. What you can see here is a drone taking off from Royal Melbourne Hospital and flying to Ethel. This simulation is built in Unreal Engine using a digital twin of Melbourne City provided by Nearmap, who offer businesses instant access to high-resolution aerial imagery, city-scale 3D datasets, and integrated geospatial tools. These maps can be used to test autonomous systems in AWS RoboMaker's simulation environment to ensure they are navigating and functioning in a safe but realistic setting prior to testing in the real world, and to accelerate robotic development and testing. As you would have noticed in the demo, there are robotics use cases that are beginning to emerge for aged care. We're seeing this emergence of robotics across many other verticals, which can be partly attributed to the advances in robotic development over the past few years.
Partnering with AWS and having a customer-first approach has been greatly beneficial. Looking forward, IRT are developing medium and longer-term strategies working backwards from the customer and with these industry factors in mind. The mind map represents a whole of industry solution. We certainly feel that what we are trying to develop with our minimal lovable product is the first building block in putting the puzzle together. Most importantly, the minimal lovable product can be further developed into a platform which could link to a range of allied healthcare professionals, other industry service providers, e-commerce portals, My Health Record, IoT wearables and devices, robotics, the My Aged Care portal, and other support and interest groups, for example, hobbies. I see the IP in this project as not individual apps and hardware, but how we can architect a platform to pull it all together and connect with the endless industry participants.
The working backwards process enables organisations to experiment and invent and simplify on behalf of their customers. Here are a few key takeaways to help you develop delightful customer experiences. Firstly, it's easy to fall in love with a particular technical solution. Make sure you don't get caught in this trap. Start talking about solutions only when you have thoroughly and deeply understood your customer. Secondly, remember that sometimes our customer's scariest problem can be an incredible opportunity for us to solve. We must dive in together as a team and avoid the urge to try and make the problem go away immediately. Thirdly, because we worked to understand the industry more holistically as a basis for this project, we were able to find opportunities to realise value for third parties also, such as engaging vendors to provide services for our customers on a simplistic, easy-to-use platform, and to support industry governing bodies to achieve their goals. We also recognised industry problems that we could help solve with technology, such as ongoing workforce challenges. AWS continues to help customers innovate, accelerate, and simplify the adoption of technology, including robotics. A great example of this is the drone demonstration you just saw. Robotics developers are now able to build and test applications in photorealistic simulations that reduce the development time and cost whilst improving safety during testing. If you are interested in knowing more about what is happening in the robotics space, check out AWS IoT RoboRunner and AWS RoboMaker to help you build intelligent, reliable, and easy to operate robot environments. Lastly, remember you don't have to go it alone. We encourage you and your teams to get engaged with our training and certification content today via AWS Skills Builder and AWS certifications. Scan one or both of the QR codes on screen to get started. Thank you for joining us today. I look forward to seeing the customer-obsessed experiences that you build on AWS. As always, we love to receive your feedback. Please remember to complete the session survey.